Have you or your loved ones ever experienced that shrinking feeling? Well, this guy has! Hey, what's happening, gamers? I'm Kwing, and welcome to my Let's Play channel. Today we're talking about the Atom, or rather Ray Palmer. You know that guy from Arrow Season 3 that bought out Oliver's company along with stealing the show? Zing! I am so getting trolled in the comments for this, aren't I? Anyway, for the purpose of keeping things short and sweet, hopefully, I'm only covering good old Ray Palmer. Now, Atom's minifigure is able to shrink and travel places other figures can't in this game, hence, you know, the shrinking power. He can also double jump, has a wall jump, pole twirl, or whatever they call it, acrobat move, and hatch travel just like Plastic Man and Martian Manhunter and some of the other guys. Ray will only run you 25,000 studs, which is a drop in the Lego bucket, so to speak, compared to many others. And he's located in the Big Grapple during free play. Alrighty, so the character, the Atom, first appeared in All-American Comics, October 1940. But we're not talking about him, we're going into the Silver Age, so October 1961, in DC Comics Showcase about the Atom. If you don't know what Showcase was, basically it's a comic book that was used to show new characters that could appear as heroes, villains, or new annoying side characters. Showcase ran until the 70s. The more you know. Anyway, Ray Palmer, PhD, or Dr. Palmer, is a physicist at Pace University, so Ivytown, New England. It doesn't exist, don't bother looking for it. Basically, he's trying to study stuff, and he stumbled onto a massive white dwarf star matter or something, which has nothing to do with red dwarf, by the way. If you guys don't understand what that is, I'm gonna cry in the corner because my age is showing, and anyway. He basically uses this fallen matter to make a lens that can shrink stuff for a while till it explodes in all his tests, so yeah, it's really safe. During a field trip with his students, did I mention this guy's a professor too? So physicist professor. Anyway, and he's there with his future wife, Jean Loring, I believe. Anyway, they all get trapped in a cave, and Ray notices that there's like this little hole, and if he shrinks himself down, in theory, he might be able to save everybody before he blows up. He then steals his girlfriend's engagement ring to cause a big enough hole in the rock so people can escape. It doesn't really make any sense in the comic, but for some reason he enters the lens beam again, and not undergoing a total protonic reversal, he's like, maybe the cave's moisture is like why I'm still alive, because of stuff. So he doesn't explode, unlike most of the stuff he shrinks on a daily basis using that weird gizmo. Logic, I know. I don't want to get into shrinking things to subatomic sizes and levels because my head's gonna hurt, and this is about comics, so yeah. Besides, in most of the cartoon appearances that Ray's been in, he uses like this belt thing to shrink himself down to fight crime and stuff, so I like to think it's that simple. In the Silver Age and Bronze Age, Ray actually gets his own rogues gallery, though nobody's worth mentioning other than Kronos, the time bandit, because time travel's awesome, and that's all I'm gonna talk about Kronos. He's a guy who time travels. Ray also becomes a Justice League member and called upon the League to deal with small wow, I just said that, didn't I? I should probably remove that in post. So Atom, in case you didn't know this or not, he's gotten a pretty bum rap in comics over the years. His most notable tales are Sword of Atom and Identity Crisis, which he doesn't really play that big a part in. It's more like somebody who's related to him does. Anyway, in Sword of Atom, Palmer leaves civilization after his wife divorces him because she cheated on him with his best friend. It's like a Korean dramedy. Anyway, he bumps into a group of yellow 6-inch people in South America where he flees and falls in love with their princess. He stays a little while to protect them and hands over his belt to the guy who stole his wife and appoints this guy as the next Atom. Really, DC? Really? Sadly, tragedy is about to strike our tiny friend. His new yellow gal pal and her entire people get blown up by the CIA. Ray escapes Doomsday through a telephone wire that was just conveniently around, and then he captures the rogue agents and shrinks them down to 6 inches so he can pound the tar out of them. But unfortunately, when he does this, he creates his biggest foes, the Micro Squad. In order to track these guys down because they disappear, being, you know, small now, Palmer asks a kid named Adam Cray to become the next Atom. But in reality, Palmer's actually using this guy to be Atom so he can go undercover and catch these guys. Cray ends up getting kidnapped by the Suicide Squad and having to work with them. Eventually, he's killed by a bad guy named Blake Snake, or Black Snake, I think. During this time, the Atom is thought to be dead by everybody in the world, including the Justice League, and maybe they were gonna do it that way, I don't know, but Ray just suddenly shows up in the Watchtower and like, hey everybody, we need to avenge this kid named Cray. And they're like, how are you still alive? He's like, I'm the Atom. For most of Ray's career, he's limited or just in support roles. Ray becomes good friends with the Halls, so Hawkman and Hawkgirl, and earns the trust and respect of Batman and Barry Allen and Hal Jordan. During Zero Year, which is the 90s, things get too confusing to explain, and well, Ray somehow becomes a teenager again, and is able to mimic abilities similar to Atom Smasher. If you don't know who he is, he can basically make himself look like Giganta, except has super strength. And he can also shrink himself really small. That's all you need to know. Also, Ray becomes the leader of the Teen Titans. Slade becomes his nemesis, because Slade and Teen Titans, you know? And he also becomes a mentor figure to Ronnie Raymond, so Firestorm. Ray's next role is actually pretty big in Identity Crisis, excuse the pun. And that's a freaky series from 2004, so I hope I can get away talking about it. Now, Jean's idea was to just endanger the heroes' wives to push everybody back together like the good old days. Making it look like supervillains are attacking family will make the heroes rush back to their loved ones. It was a good idea, but it kind of went crazy when she accidentally killed Sue. When she realizes that she might be in trouble, she basically targets herself, not knowing this by the way, tying herself up and having Ray rescue her, and blaming it on some crazy guy called Slipknot. What's funny is her crazy plan actually works for a while, and she gets back with her husband. The Titans, Justice League, and other heroes are sent to hunt down various Flame villains, and the original Justice Society people, so Canary and Arrow and Hawkman and things like that, they go after Dr. Light, who hurt Sue a long time ago and threatened the Super's families way back then. So probably be during the Bronze or Silver Age. But the threat was so bad, people, that Zatanna began wiping both hero and villains' minds alike. She even, wiped Batman's memories, which is pretty freaky. And that will later have consequences when Batman quits the team. But anyway, DC really made a point that keeping secret identities or cleanup was the real job of superheroes, and actually made the Justice League, namely Green Arrow, come out to be the bad guys of the story. Another interesting thing about Identity Crisis is the fact that the writers have Sue's murderer tagging along with the superheroes the entire time. She threatens Superman's wife through, some other villain. She hires the calculator guy to hire Boomerang to kill Tim Drake's father, and they both end up dying in the fight. She accidentally gets Firestorm killed. I mean, this lady could be Lex Luthor. I mean, she's an accidental genius in that sense, doing stuff that Lex and most villains weren't able to achieve. Unfortunately for her, she slips up, and Batman overhears her say something that only he would know. So then he talks to Ray and some other people, and he's like, you know what? I think your ex-wife is behind everything. The clash with supervillains. And she basically admits it and then gets sent to Arkham Asylum, where she goes nutsoid. Ray then, of course, leaves the Justice League and disappears before Countdown to Crisis or whatever. And everybody's like, where'd Ray go? So then a new Adam steps in, Ryan Chow, who's from Hong Kong, I believe. But anyway, Jean does come back in the comics, though. She becomes like a super-powered crazy person until she's destroyed by the Spectre. Now, Ray ended up traveling to the multiverse and went to an Earth that has no crime and lives with a now sane wife Jean, who never left him or cheated on him. So it's like a utopia, essentially. So Jason Todd, Donna Troy, and Kyle Rayner, I believe, try to bring him back to Earth to help with a crisis, but Palmer refuses because he's happy where he is. He doesn't want to go back to the crazy Earth. He likes where he is. But eventually, they get him to come back. He helps defeat Darkseid and saves the world, as well as meets his replacement, Ryan. Now, during Blackest Night, the Halls become zombies, which really upset people, actually. It's like one of the first stories where they're turned into Black Lanterns, and they try to eat Ray after he comes to visit them through the telephone line, which he's only been back on this Earth for maybe a few months, instead of his happy Earth. So I really feel bad for the guy. Also, Elongated Man and Sue come back to life and try to destroy Ray, since he was unable to help him, and it was his ex-wife that caused their destruction. But of course, Ray survives all this because the Atom is awesome, but then his ex-wife comes back to haunt him too, and try to steal his heart out. And she would have succeeded if he wouldn't have become a Blue Lantern, or is it Indigo Lantern? I think it's Indigo, and he helps Hal Jordan save the universe. So not bad for such a tiny hero, is it? In Brightest Day, he assists Ronnie Raymond, who's now alive again, and Jason, the other Firestorm guy, I don't know. though Jason actually hates Ronnie because while Black Lantern, he kind of killed his girlfriend. So they have this kind of clash going on, and Ray's trying to calm them both down, like, come on guys, gotta work together, you're one personality now. DC zombie event? So hard to explain and so strange. Anyway, another arc for Ray is that of revenge for his protege Ryan, who's slain by Slade Wilson, so Deathstroke. He even enlists the help of Ryan's then-girlfriend, or ex-girlfriend, Giganta. And I kid you not, Giganta and the Atom were a couple. Well, one of the Atoms and Giganta. That's funny. So Dick Grayson also helps Ray to find out what happened to Ryan Chow. Ray is able to defeat Deathstroke, but Grayson won't let him kill Slade. He's like, nope, that'll make you just like him. And he's like, you're right, I shouldn't do that. Now in the New 52, Ray and Ryan both appear, but there's some girl who's the Atom, so yeah. As for other media, Ray Palmer has appeared in Justice League Unlimited and helped Lex Luthor survive Amazo. He also had some minor roles in the show and later non-speaking cameos. He and Ryan did appear in Batman Brave and the Bold, though, episode Sword of Adam, which you guys know what that is now, so I don't need to explain it. In Young Justice, Ray Palmer is in, I believe, 4 episodes spanning both seasons. His assistant is Bumblebee, and he actually helps the League a lot, with both, being the Atom and being a physicist. As for what's going on right now, well, Brandon Routh is currently playing Ray Palmer on Arrow, and it's hinted that he'll become the Atom eventually, maybe. Felicity actually overhears him talking about Dwarf Star Matter, and recently he actually told her about his plans to finish the ATOM suit and fight Injustice. So the Atom suit is actually being worked on in Arrow behind the scenes, so that's pretty cool. Now he's doing this mostly to get revenge on Slade, who killed his girlfriend, so there they go again, showing that Slade and the Atom are mortal enemies, so yeah. And the rest, as they say, is history, ladies and gentlemen. Why is it some of the most unknown and obscure characters seem to have the coolest origin stories? No matter how small a role they play, you know what, I'm done, I'm sorry. Anyway, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for my LEGO Batman 3 videos. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and until we meet again, God bless and happy gaming. I'm done with the small jokes, alright? Bye, guys.